both games, you're gonna tell me the same exact thing.
Yeah. You don't want to watch this Malphite again, I'm sure. All right.
No, fuck, that Malphite game was awful.
Alrighty. This is the first game from the Scrim tryout thingy with like old Black and friends versus new Black Tryouts.
And Malphite.
Yes, and Tyler. But yeah, so we're just gonna go over basically. I'll do it from Blue Side's point of view, but just like what I would do personally, just like macro wise. I'll point out like individual mistakes and stuff too as we see them, but for the most part we're just gonna do macro team stuff. Yeah, good job getting ward. The Grogish stuck around a little bit for a while on his own, just unnecessary. Also the double ward is unnecessary. Tyler should have seen the ward on your red buff, so both junglers will know where each other are starting in theory here, which will favor the Kindred. Easy farming early on, which is nice. Oh, you started blue buff.
I started blue because I wanted to path alongside him. In part because I didn't know how the Maokai support would go, especially into like a set. So I decided to play the safe bet, start top side, path alongside Hecarim, see if I could potentially look to kill him pending lane state.
Yeah, that was a good level 1 bot lane.
Otherwise, also potentially looking bot.
Yeah. I mean, I think using the exhaust in general was like whatever. But yeah, the Ashe isn't going to be doing any damage right now. Neither of them really are at level 1. But yeah, exhausting the set's probably best there. Either way, I think you force his flash. But yeah, Leper, you need to just walk up and Q. The Rumble pretty much off cooldown. Now the both mid laners are low, so you should be looking to gank mid lane here soon. You just got level 3 off of your double buff Gromp here, so I would, if Cody should be like calling for you to come gank mid, because he knows that he hasn't warded out yet, and he's low health.
I called that, I saw the Hecarim, called it some pinch at that point. This was the...
Oh yeah, I remember this one. That was good. Unlucky. Yeah, if you had queued towards the Ashe, you probably get the Q into the auto. And yeah, it's then it probably is a 3 for 2 in your favor, at least a 2 for 3. I don't think that the set would have the damage to kill you. I think you would be able to get away from him. Oof. Yeah, it's okay though. It's fine. It was good to look there.
I appreciate that this is like 10 billion times better than any other VOD review I've been part of. Holy shit.
We're just like 2 minutes in. Holy fuck.
I know, my old coach used to just sit here and like ram on us for like every single fuck up we made and be like, you know, you shouldn't have done that. Here's how you have to play out this fight. And then like pick out like 3 separate instances in the VOD and like just focus on those. And by the end of it, you'd sit there and be like, man, fuck this guy.
No, yeah, we've already talked about that fight, what to do, so it's like, whatever, you know? It was a good look, it was a good idea, just like, that's one of those things that you only know how to do if you do it, right? So you just gotta practice those micros.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
So I'm that press the attack slash heal blades is still viable?
I don't know well enough to say, but I think that they're like, I'm pretty sure they're all still viable. All three are viable. They're all just situational. I think the lethal tempo is like specifically for if you're going the Muramana build. Though I think I think the reason why lethal tempos come into prominence is because of the Muramana build, and that your ult procs the Muramana damage, procs the bonus damage on the autos. So that's why I think that you want to go lethal tempo is for that. Otherwise, if you were going Bork, I would just go press the attack. If you want to be stronger early, then go ahead and blades. Does a good job getting out here. But yeah, your farm is taking a hit, that's for sure. So I have both mid laners, which is kind of weird. The one thing about doing that dragon is you're actually really far behind in the jungle because of it. Hecarim's supposed to be the stronger early one, and that's like kind of the trade-off you have to look at when thinking about doing like these early objectives is how much time. Like, it's regardless of like, oh, we don't want to give it over to them, it's more like on these early objectives about how much time it's going to take and what you could be doing with that time instead. So now you're behind 3 camps. So it's a good gank bot lane, but it's like you traded an ocean, which you had to solo out. No one helped you with it. So it took you a long time, and it did a lot of damage to you. And now he's invading your topside jungle. And you'll be behind something like 4 or 5 camps. And he has his whole jungle to farm. So he's going to have a massive lead over you here. He's about to hit 6, probably a full minute before you do. Soaking the solo lane XP definitely helps you get to that point, but yeah. So like,
what should I be doing as ADC to help out the jungle in cases like this?
Basically just when he's doing the dragon, try and be there to do it with him, right? Like, if he wants to do the objective, time it up with him so that you have like a wave crashing so you can go do it, so it takes him less time. Like, if you want to do that early objective and that's how you want to use your time, that's how the ADC can help with that, is just making it go by faster, making the take quicker.
I just ADC get solo XP.
Yeah, as long as they can safely get solo XP, that's the key thing. Is if they can't safely get solo XP, then you have to help them push the wave in, and then you'd go up to it. But yeah, so now it's a 5 camp lead towards the Hecarim. Hecarim is 6 now. You're still a little ways away from it, and you have no marks. Yeah, you have no marks so far.
I have no marks because Hecarim took early mark. My mark is still on the Hecarim.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to like go and actually actively look for them.
Yeah, so especially if you're playing Kindred, you want to really be scaling for like 2 items. So I would recommend, rather than like doing that dragon, your whole like focus in the early game should just be getting your first clear in, backing, and like if you roll, great if you roll the RNG on the first scuttle. Like, I would have just, honestly, I would have just started red there and gotten red, blue Gromp, and knowing that he was gonna do the opposite, and then knowing you could get top scuttle for free, and then hoping, you know, 50-50 chance you get that first mark there. Otherwise, no big deal, go ward his chickens, because it'll be on, I think your next one is, if there's a scuttle, it'll mark the scuttle. If not, it'll mark the chickens, right? Yeah. Chickens are Gromp, I think. But yeah.
Marks chickens are Gromp once you get first mark.
Yeah.
At 0 marks, only scuttles and people.
But yeah, so that's what I would just do, is on that first one, hope to get the RNG, and on the second one, if you don't get the RNG, just path towards that side when it's spawning, and then communicate with your lanes to make sure. And that's one thing you can do as well as ADC with the Kindred specifically, as ADC or support, is make sure that if it's spawning bot side, you're ready for that. This right here, this was just a little, Leopard just went early here. The Kindred ult could have came down as well here, and if he wasn't in range, flash Kindred ult wasn't an option. You don't ever want to be flashing forward like that. As the ADC there, okay. So we'll watch this again real quick. So here, so just hit him, and then you don't want to flash forward. Yeah, you like the golden rule. Like there's a playlist that I can link at some point. That it talks about it in one of the videos of the playlist. But like the golden rule for 2v2 is hit what's in front of you until you can hit the ADC.
That's right.
But yeah, you always want to be focusing the ADC. So it's like if they engage on your lane partner, you engage on their ADC. Whether you're support or ADC, it's the general rule. Put pressure on their ADC, make them make a decision if they want to fight forward or backwards. But like flashing forward here onto the set, he has too much health. You're not gonna kill him here. You're just a Cutlass. You just have Cutlass right now. There's not enough damage. But yeah. So I think just specifically. So I think this little troll from Tyler is good to just hit here, and then yeah. Tyler sat in the true damage and he could have flashed out of it. For sure. Like hitting here, this is fine. Just hit the set, Ashe with her ultimate, and then you just go flash to the side to avoid that. Also, I just think in general there's too much focus on this set. The Ashe got the free hit there. That's unlucky. Okay, the Leopard died.
I didn't expect the inherent burst there, and that's why I didn't do something like Flash Sharp.
Yes, that was good. I'm not sure who made the call to run down the river, but it was a bad one. Like, I think this play here, you just push out the wave and crash it. You're too low to be making some type of like Herald play or something. You still should have lived. You probably could have sidestepped that. But yeah, so then they're gonna get Herald here. Mid laners for top lane. Let's top. Karkas can clear these two and recall. What the Hecarim and the TF should do here is actually just like take the Herald and then go straight back top lane, because I imagine top lane will be punishable. Like if Hecarim just grabs this, runs straight top lane, kills Leper, and then they get the tower here. Which Leper you're pushing out, so you need to be wary of, because they just took the Herald. Oh, yep, and they're doing it. And yeah, you almost make it out, but even if you do make it out, they still get the whole tower, so essentially the same result for them, either way.
So, this is more about the Hecarim, but Hecarim should be building for Triforce before he gets Scorch Lance.
I thought you finished your... I don't know. I don't play Hecarim.
Traditionally,
I've never played Hecarim before.
Traditionally, you just finish Triforce before you finish Triple Item.
Okay.
Because the Triforce spike is farther than anything else there.
That was good. I think the crossing scope was good. little unnecessary, but whatever. Just making sure the kill got through. Now you guys can run straight down in 3-man. This Ashe is really greedy by hitting this tower. She should be dead here. Yeah. Ashe is out. Yeah, just focus the Ashe. Here you go. Hit what's in front of you until you can step up and hit backline. So just hitting what's in front of you. Oof. Oof. Oh, he didn't repop the Q. Oh. Oh no. How many stacks do you have? You have 1. Okay.
We'll just blame that on BHA being too good.
That's fine. You got 1 kill. There's 1 for 0. That was really good. Good unstoppable on the pullback from set. That's well done.
And then waiting to cue him until after he popped the board.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever it was. Like, just when he waited until he popped the move to cue so that I could really get away.
And then your downfall is pushing here.
Yeah.
Once again.
There
Like,
was
you're in a really hard spot at this point. You just kind of gotta take
We've
it.
gotten better at that since then. This is like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I think you live.
If I walked
You
away,
maybe live here if you didn't, yeah. Because,
I
like, the
didn't
tower
go-
will do the job for you.
if I
This
didn't
was
go-
almost a really good, just, like, great escape. And then, like, immediately,
Let me look
if you
through
had.
it. Yeah, if I did not move back in, he would have been dead. I did not need to do anything else. But I
I'm
just wanted to
also
ensure it.
wondering if, like, I don't think you need to flash towards the tower there. I think if you just flash towards your minions, I think you flash. If you flash this way towards your minions and, like, in theory, trying to get behind you, they might not have made it there in time.
If he goes through the he needs to take that point. He needs to take 1 extra tower shot. So if I leave and he chases out, he does not die and I die. Does that make sense?
Well, I think his options are both of you die or none of you die. Flashing towards the tower incentivizes him towards the both of you die. Flashing back towards your fountain incentivizes
I
him
think
to
he
take
gets
the
out,
none of you
is what I'm
die.
saying. I think he doesn't die.
No,
I die.
you
if
wouldn't
I
die.
go away from the tower.
No, you wouldn't die because he still wouldn't have been in. He wouldn't have been in key range. Yeah, he doesn't have Leandre's yet. The set ignite was down. There's no DOT on you, so. At this point, your Twitch is really strong, so you should be playing around him. You should look for plays around him. Malphite has R, and that's all that matters. Kindred's farming decently well. The Gragas has his Roa now, at least. So, that'll be stacking. Interesting. I didn't realize you went Roa, Gragas. I thought you went, Ludens. Thought you went, like, Q-poke Ludens. I don't know. Play that champ mid.
No, I don't know.
I know what you do on him jungle, but here it should have been the Gragas bot lane. You guys, this is a free chance for you to push into tower mid lane. Also to get resets. I'm not sure who has. Okay, no one has gold, so you don't have any resets to take before this dragon here. So you should just be taking your inside track on the tower and helping out Vinny push out mid. the crash at the end of the tower, so you can be standing in the dragon first and make them come into you. The Malphite's coming down now, which is good because he doesn't have TP. So just sweeping out this. If you don't interior, trying to steal that. Okay, so you get it.
I just wanted that to deny it and
Yeah.
push them back.
No, yeah, that's fine. As long as you just don't int trying to do it. Bush sitting, in theory, should never work against Rash.
That's a big
And then
theory.
here, you all just like split up. You should be taking the space. Like right there, I think you just straight up engage the rumble. Like you have the space. They're walking into you. The first person who steps out of zone should just die. Like he just TP'd in, Malphite ult right there. He split off. You know the rest of his team's over on the other side. You can just pop the rumble. But then it becomes this weird fight where you're fighting backwards. You know, all together. The Ashe is just going to be free hitting whoever's in front of her. There's no threat onto her. And then,
Ran down on the
yeah,
other side.
and it's a 5-for-1. And that's just like a indecision type of thing. Like you did a great job setting it up, and then you just didn't pull the trigger. Is the only problem with that play there. There's a couple options what you could do there.
At this point that I couldn't call a fight to save the fucking life.
But yeah,
Honestly, I think we all were.
we'll just down to
Let's
half
be real.
speed real quick here. But yeah, so you have the space. We should not be like backing up here. We should be standing together, kind of in
That's
this
one of the reasons
area. Malphite threatening here, right? Kindred, Maokai.
I was trying to stay behind.
Like Maokai and
anyone that
Malphite
helped.
This is
threatening
what I
in
think the
tier.
call was. Is
Gragas
we knew
kind of
that
in the middle, and our
the
ADC's in
rumble
the back.
was there, and we wanted to kill the rumble.
Okay.
I think.
We called out the TP as it was happening, and we started
Right.
walking
So
backwards.
play it a little further. So we started moving towards the rumble, if I'm remembering right.
But yeah, so then this should have
Then-
been like an immediate, like as if. But yeah, so you should be zoning off like here, like people standing up in front here. And then once the rumble TP comes through in just a second, yeah, so now this should be an instant Maokai route into Malphite on top of here. Twitch throws down his poison and you just pop him.
Right.
Like
And
like
Malphite
no
doesn't
route
go.
ever comes through.
Yeah.
The route would
I mean,
just
I
guarantee
was-
your ult.
And I'm trying to save my ult for something
And
big.
Cody gets frantic because they're starting to take the space and we're just getting it for free. And then they get to engage onto us for free as we're fighting backwards when we had the position initially. And then the TF just backlined. Rocks through. The Kindred ult gets no value.
Yep.
Really. Just because everyone's so split up. But yeah. That's just an indecision thing. Like as soon as that TP comes through, that TP was so troll. Like actually though, that TP was high key mid troll.
This was 9 days ago. Holy shit.
I know, right?
Alright. Then they'll go
See, I
take
will
mid
say
tower
one
into
thing
second
in
herald.
Cody's defense, right? If Cody was that Maokai, that would have been a dead rumble.
Yeah. Cody is in no way afraid of going.
Yeah.
For better or worse, he is not afraid to
He
go
will
in.
move forward.
Play by them. You should know they have to recall here, otherwise you can win a fight just because of the gold. So you should be hard pushing for this mid tower here,
I was
and
looking
just
to
picking off anyone who tries to contest.
I was trying to just gather farm as much as I could at that point to
Yeah.
try and clear the difference up as much as possible.
Yeah, and you never would have gotten the full tower. It's just like you can crash the wave, deny a little bit of gold, get some damage down, have it crash so you can get some vision out. It's not really ideal. Like obviously in a better world you can get more traded back for that, but they just had so much time to themselves on the map after the ace. not ideal. You don't need to be stepping up into there. There's nothing to like fight over right now, right? Like the next objective is Baron in like a minute and a half, and no, neither team, I don't think is just gonna be starting it on spawn. So yeah, you really don't need to go past the river there, especially not into their buckle that deep. This probably could have been like a pick onto the... I feel like this could have been a pick onto the heck round. Definitely could have been a look. Like if you go there, like as Kindred and Twitch, you can out... Yeah, he doesn't have flash, so you can probably force... Yeah, he doesn't have flash and he used ult. You can probably get a trade back. At the very least, force out the Ash heal.
I didn't hear any comms regarding anything like that, so like
Yeah.
it was just.
I was calling for us to back off. I was extremely scared of the Ashe.
Well, yeah, if you get in auto range of the Ashe, you're just kind of doomed at this point, unless you're popping here.
Hi.
My bad.
No worries. No worries.
Just like, I don't
Okay, now this is a little bit too far.
Yeah, I kind of.
And then I think your best case scenario is you ult away and save your life, maybe. And then, oof, that Kindred ult's gotta get out. I'm not sure CC chain, if the CC chain affected it at all, but you have a chance to maybe live if you're fighting with under Kindred ult, under tower. Okay, so the TF gold card came through, but it still probably should have been dropped a little bit earlier, even before the card came through. And if I remember correctly, they don't end here. I think they just take the inhib and back off. They might like look at the Nexus tower really scarily, but I don't think they get both. I think they get one. Then they may back off. They take one, they take the wave, and they reset the Baron. Just probably, and like, so if we were in this scenario, I would want us to just take the inhib and then recall. Because one Nexus tower versus two honestly doesn't really matter that much at this point. So yeah, like that isn't gonna be what's stopping you from winning the game if you're in their shoes. Like you just get back on out on the map earlier, and right. So like now they're backing really late, and they're giving you a lot of time to get the waves in order. And in theory, you can go set up for this dragon first here, which would put you to soul point. And being there first is something your comp badly wants to do. With Malphite, Gragas, Maokai, you love being in control of the area first, instead of putting all of the attention around Baron, which I think we just dropped like one ward on the Baron, just to like make sure it's warded out. And yeah, I think we just dropped one ward on Baron and then run over to Dragon and get set up for that. That was a good pick onto the Ashe. In terms of like the Kindred play, just like
I panic flash hard if I'm be 110% honest.
I think, okay, so this is whatever, you're looking for that. Couple auto cancels here. You need to flash that ult, and then, yeah, you flashed and you didn't leave the rumble ult. What's the problem? Was the main problem with your flash? Like, flashed earlier, and then I think you also like were too invested in staying in your ultimate, which like you just need to get the hell out.
Like, I think in retrospect, like I shouldn't have panicked. If I didn't panic, then I just flash and then I hold my R for a little bit longer.
Yeah, wait for some of the burn to come out. Yeah.
I just got really scared because I was really nervous going into this game because I didn't want to fuck up.
And this is like so sad because like
I had
you're like one item away from being like the man
Yeah.
from
I don't know.
doing
okay,
Twitch things.
So I flashed over the wall. I feel like that was kind of troll, but at the same time, I feel like I kind of have to. But
It
at
does
the
a
same
net
time,
positive overall.
We're gonna watch your field. So you're good. You're hitting who's in front of you. Yep. Just hit what's in front. Go invis here.
I
At
didn't
them.
think that they'd go in as soon, so I thought they'd go back.
Yeah, and that's just the fact we didn't have vision in our jungle, right? Like,
Curious, can you watch the Maokai during that?
yeah.
Because I really expected the Maokai to be there with me when I went in the way that I did. Like, I really didn't have an issue with the Twitch flank around. It's more of like, I don't know where the Maokai went in that sequence, I'll be honest.
Well, I think that if I
Curious
wouldn't have
here.
flashed over the wall, I would have gotten there sooner.
Okay. I'm
mean,
curious. I just
I
want to watch
will-
something else real quick here. Okay.
It also
So in
forces
theory,
the
we
game
see the TP mid, we see the Hecarim and the TF coming over, and so yeah, and they're still pinching. We still see them coming. So that, like, if you see them there, right? Like, obviously tunnel vision, right? I don't expect you to be perfect. This is just like this is where we're striving to go towards, right? Like, we're never gonna get there, but like in an absolute fucking perfect world, you see them pinching on the minimap and you know that they're not going to keep walking backwards because they're still in our jungle. They're at our fucking blue buff. So then you don't flash over the wall and yeah, you just walk through with them. We'll switch over to the Maokai here and okay, so he must have actually seen them. And so he just got like split. That's what it is. So he saw them and knew they were coming and was like
Yeah,
looking
I
for them.
went
But
forward expecting him to be with me.
yeah.
And we get the double here.
Yeah, I think if you're all on the same page, like even if he sees them, you Twitch and the Maokai should both just walk here into the lane, and y'all just hit them here and get the double kill, and then you can turn on the backside. But unluckily, that just I imagine is just like a synergy thing, right? Like y'all have never played together before, so it's like whatever, who cares? Learning experience. Also, just like miscommunication, which is in the same family as
I also
synergy
feel
stuff.
like by the time at this point,
But yeah, and then the Maokai is just not there for that, which
At
is
this point, I recognize
in
I'm
melee
gonna
range.
get to where I needed to be.
so with that, should I have just tried to run away?
I mean,
No, you had to fight your way out of that at that point. Like once you flashed over the wall, you committed to fighting your way out. I think the one thing you could have done is actually like, so you flash here, slower, and so you just hit Puffin, and then you actually fight up the lane. So you actually fight this way. Like granted, the fear is pushing you back towards your tower, but I think after the fear, if you try and go up the lane and just keep one person in target of you at all times, that's your best chance.
I also feel like I wouldn't have gotten feared if I didn't walk up like that. Or like after.
I mean, but it's I think it's understandable to walk up in that manner. Right, because like you're just stepping up. I think. Okay, hold on. Slower. But yeah, so I know at least the way that you hit Puffin, that was correct. Okay, throw that down. Just hit who's closest to you. Keep them close to you. And then at this point, you keep up. Okay, so you kite 2 autos back towards the set when you should then. The closest person to you at that point is just the Hecarim, so you should just stand and hit the Heck, I think. Granted, it might have been a little hard to get through him with his death stance, so like maybe you don't even get that close to him to fight it that way, but yeah.
And I exhausted him as well.
But yeah. Granted, that is a very fucking hard fight to win. Like, you're down 12k gold going into that, so I don't ever expect you to actually win that. Like, they should just be able to smack you with their wallets, in theory, if they were playing it properly. But the fact that you were that close is really good. And the fact that we can, like, highlight a couple key things that might have actually won you a fucking 12k deficit fight is pog. But yeah, so they just take this into Dragon. This Twitch just needs to farm up. He needs to get the IE.
I remember you saying that distinctly. Going, if I had IE there, they would have been dead. I remember that so well.
Would make me sad. Even if I had BF there, I would have killed them all, or at least I would have killed the TF set.
Oh, I'm watching you. Fuck. Okay, that's fine. What the hell is going on? Okay. So take the dragon. Baron is up for them. They should go sweep out wards, get the waves in order, and then just take it. They have a super fucking fed Ashe and plenty of people to stand in front of her. You should not be out solo. This walking up is not the answer there. This is a nasty chunk. Yeah.
I didn't realize he did that much at that point.
Yeah, he's got his finished sword boots Morello Leandres. He smacks. Granted, I'm not entirely sure why he went Leandres. Morello. I think he just sit on the Oblivion Orb. He probably just sit on the Oblivion Orb and I don't know, go fucking like Rylai's or some shit. Go Rylai's or I don't know, be an alpha, go Death Cap. There's not really much healing to cut. It's just the Bork and the unfinished Bork on the Kindred. And that hasn't really been a problem so far. I think you just itemize towards the full burst. You can go like a fucking Void Cap, or Void Staff, Death Cap, or Rylai's probably. Maybe you can justify an Hourglass, but that's more defensive. I wouldn't. That would be alpha. But yeah, so I think they just lock it in here. Or they should just walk it in here.
Close. I get my IE before the next fight. The Gragasar pushed the Hecarim onto me.
Yeah, and then in this situation, you really can't. You have to go before, like, if you want to have a chance, you have to go before the minions of the tower. Like, granted, you really don't have much of a chance, but if you have any chance at all, you have to just go before the minions of the tower. And try and pick someone. Like, while they're trying to set up the wave, see if you can catch someone out in Overforce. But yeah, not much to say. Honestly, at that point, it's like, whatever. There's not much, like, that I can fault you for. Sort of like, oh my god, you guys misplayed a fight when you were down 14,000 gold. God damn it. Fuck you guys. You suck. Quit the game, uninstall, you know?
I mean, that's what you just said privately in my DMs.
Oh, yeah. That's what I just DM'd you. Alright, yeah. Any questions on that game?
No.
I guess
Okay.
the only question I have is, should I have looked to early path invade? Like do 3-camp invade, potentially?
You probably should have looked to just do a 3-camp something or other. If you wanted to power farm, you would have wanted to start opposite side of him. So like, I think if you wanted to power farm, you go red, blue, Gromp, or red, Gromp, blue, or whatever, and then like gank top lane, get top scuttle, and then path back into your wolves, raptors, Krugs, reset, Gromp, wolves, raptors, Krugs, look for gank bot lane, you know, that type of deal. Let them have first dragon, let them have second if they want it, but yeah. Try and get your marks, adjust your pathing accordingly, or the first scuttle spawning, just make sure you get your first scuttle. But yeah, that's what I would have done, at least.
Okie dokes.
Alright, then I will cut this recording and get it uploading to YouTube.